by measured degrees while containing the threat of white supremacist violence. He succeeded. His record of civil rights achievements behind the scenes is impressive, but the impatience of African Americans with the pace of change during his administration was understandable. We can learn a lot from the trade-offs that Ike engineered. Of great interest at this point in our history is the way that Ike diminished the hysteria that was threatening the nation. This achievement was a deeply personal one. For most of his life he had been struggling to control the terrible temper he inherited from his father by employing techniques of self-control that he learned from his mother. Just after he retired from the presidency, he revealed in an interview with CBS anchorman Walter Cronkite that, in his own opinion, his greatest presidential achievement was to bring a much-needed serenity to America. No doubt the most formidable challenge in doing so was to undermine Senator Joseph McCarthy of Wisconsin, one of the foulest demagogues in American history, a scoundrel whose lies and abuse were making decent governance impossible. Ike's goal was to engineer the downfall of McCarthy without worsening the plague of irrationality that this demagogue spawned. With his soaring popularity, based heavily upon his patriotic standing as the hero of D-Day, Ike could have chosen to confront McCarthy directly, but that was precisely what he chose not to do. His method was to sabotage his enemy behind the scenes in ways that were consistent with the dignity of the presidential office. He sought to calm the nation down. He said that one of his most important responsibilities as president was to present a respectable image of American life before the world. As he took on McCarthy, he was laying the groundwork for a cold new rationality in national security. He terminated the unwinnable war in Korea by forcing an armistice, and he quenched calls from his cabinet for Cold War escalation, such as proposals from Secretary of State John Foster Dulles to roll back Soviet power. He refused to get into another land war in Asia when others were calling for American intervention in Vietnam. He developed a strategy for national security that was based on cost-effective deterrence, augmented by a secret program to develop the capacity for space-based reconnaissance of the Soviet Union. His aim was to gather objective facts as the basis for decision-making, thus ensuring his responses to challenges would avoid either underreaction or overreaction. A Republican who espoused conservative values, he advanced a left-right synthesis that he often called the middle way. Here again, he was seeking to establish a common-sense political climate of balance and reason. But beyond common sense, he was practicing a brand of centrist politics that was highly sophisticated and not without precedent. Decades earlier, Theodore Roosevelt told an admirer that his work as a Republican leader was to take hold of the Conservative Party and turn it into what it had been under Lincoln, that is, a party of progressive conservatism or conservative radicalism. For, of course, wise radicalism and wise conservatism go hand in hand. Ike's achievement as a centrist is well known, but the story of how he developed into a centrist is not. The evolution of his thinking in political and economic matters is a subject that few have taken on, not least of all because so much of his intellectual development remains mysterious. This book will seek to shed new light on these subjects, because the facts at hand raise tantalizing questions. Ike was a Democrat in high school. Later on, he was privately pleased when FDR won the presidential election of 1932. His brother Milton was a New Dealer. His brother Edgar was an ultra-conservative. After World War II, Ike warned against the dangers of socialism, and he revealed that he was a Republican. Exactly when did he become a Republican, and when did conservative values capture his allegiance? Both parties had been courting him as a presidential candidate after World War II, and his popularity among liberals was considerable. It appears he had a foot in both camps all along. As president, he swore that he would cut back on excessive federal spending, and he warned about the danger of America becoming insolvent. Nonetheless, he resisted all proposals to roll back the New Deal legacy. He launched the greatest public works project in American history, the interstate highway system,